Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Chat Spot. I'm Jake, your go-to guy for all things English.
And I'm Nina, your travel obsessed co host. Today we are talking about something close to my heart English for travel, and specifically, how to talk about your vacation in English. Jake, are you ready to pack your bags?
Always Nina. In fact, I've got my imaginary suitcase right here. And honestly, talking about vacations is such a useful skill. Whether you're sharing stories, posting on social media, or chatting with new friends, knowing the right English can make your experiences come alive.
Absolutely. I love telling people about my trips, but sometimes I get stuck trying to find the right words. So, Jake, where do we start if we want to talk about our vacation in English?
Great question. The basics are always where you went, who you went with, what you did, and how you felt about it. Think of it like building a story, location, company, activities, and emotions.
So, give us an example. Imagine you just got back from, let's say, Greece. How would you start?
Sure, I might say, last summer, I went to Greece with my best friend. We explored Athens, visited the islands, and tried tons of amazing food. My favorite part was hiking up to the Acropolis. See how I covered the place, who I was with, what I did, and my feelings.
Love it. Okay, but what if someone wants to sound a bit more natural? Are there any common expressions or phrases that travelers use?
Oh, definitely. You can spice things up by saying things like, I had the time of my life, or it was a dream come true. If something was unexpected, you might say, it took me by surprise, or I was blown away. And if you want to talk about relaxing, you could say, I just kicked back and soaked up the sun.
Soaked up the sun. I love that. How about talking about things that didn't go so well? Let's be real. Travel isn't always perfect.
Sure. If you had a rough experience, you could say things didn't go as planned, or we hit a few bumps along the way. Maybe your flight was delayed, so you'd say, our flight was delayed, so we had to make the best of it. It's all about being honest, but keeping it light, unless it was truly terrible.
Speaking of flights, the airport is always a goldmine for stories. Have you ever had a classic airport disaster?
Oh, you bet. Once, I almost missed my flight because I got too caught up browsing the duty-free shops. I ended up sprinting to my gate with a bag of chocolates in one hand and my shoes in the other. I can laugh about it now, but at the time, my heart was pounding.
That's hilarious. And a perfect segue into using the past tense. When we talk about vacations, it's usually all about the past, right?
Exactly. When you're telling stories, most of your sentences will be in the past tense. So instead of, I go to Italy, you'll say, I went to Italy. And for continuous actions, you might use with slash for plussing, like, we were swimming every day.
Got it. What about if you want to recommend something from your trip? Like, if I want to say, you have to visit the local market, is there a way to sound more like a native speaker?
Great tip. Native speakers often use phrases like, you can't miss, or you've got to check out. So instead of, you should visit the local market, you could say, you can't miss the local market. It's amazing. It sounds more enthusiastic.
I love that. And how about food? Everyone loves talking about food on vacation.
Oh, totally. You can use phrases like, I tried, I sampled, or I got to taste, for example. I tried authentic Thai street food, or I got to taste homemade gelato. And if something was delicious, you can say, it was out of this world, or it was to die for.
To die for. That's dramatic. But I like it. Okay, I want to make this practical for our listeners. Let's play a quick game. I'll say a vacation activity, and you give me a natural English phrase to describe it. Ready?
We got completely lost in Rome, but it turned out to be the best adventure. I took a leap of faith and tried fried scorpions in Bangkok.
Whoa, that's bold. Okay, audience, your turn. Tell us in the comments. What's the weirdest thing you've eaten on vacation? Or, if you haven't traveled yet, what would you try?
I can't wait to read those answers. People always have wild stories about food. And speaking of stories, Nina, do you remember your first time traveling alone? How did you tell people about it in English?
Oh, that's a good one. I went to Spain by myself, and when I got back, I told my friends. It was scary at first, but I ended up meeting some amazing people. I also said, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Is that a good way to say it?
Absolutely. Pushed myself out of my comfort zone is a classic. You can also say, I grew a lot from the experience, or it was eye-opening.
So, for our listeners who are maybe shy about talking about their vacations in English, what's your advice?
Start simple. Even just, I went to Paris. I saw the Eiffel Tower. I ate great food. I loved it is a great start. Then, as you get more comfortable, add details, describe what you saw, how you felt, what surprised you.
That's so true. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. People love hearing about travel, even if your English isn't perfect.
Absolutely. Plus, sometimes the mistakes make for the best stories. Like the time I accidentally said, I was embarrassed instead of I was excited about my trip to Japan. My friends were so confused.
Oh no. That's a classic language fail. Actually, that reminds me, once I told someone in French that I was pregnant instead of excited to visit Paris. Oops.
That's hilarious. Language fails are part of the journey. Okay, let's talk about vocabulary for travel. What are some must-know words and phrases for telling vacation stories, Nina?
I'd say words like destination, itinerary, sightseeing, adventure, explore, and memorable. Also, verbs like discover, experience, enjoy, and relax.
Great list. And for adjectives, you can use breathtaking, spectacular, unforgettable, picturesque, and peaceful. These words help your story pop.
Jake, what about phrases for talking about transportation? Like, how do you say you got around?
You can say, we took a train across Italy, or I rode a scooter around Bali. For public transport, I hopped on the subway, or we caught a bus to the beach. And if you walked a lot, we explored the city on foot.
Nice. And if you want to talk about where you stayed?
You can say, we stayed at a cozy Airbnb. I booked a hostel downtown, or we checked into a luxury hotel. It's also common to mention if the place had a great view, was comfortable, or had friendly staff.
Okay, time for another quick fire round. I'll say a topic. You give a sample sentence. Ready?
I spend hours wandering through the Louvre. There's so much to see. We hiked up the mountain and the view at the top was totally worth it. We chatted with some locals at a cafe. They gave us amazing tips for hidden spots.
Love it. And listeners, feel free to practice your own sentences at home. Jake, let's talk about sharing vacation stories online. How can people write about their trips on social media in English?
Great point. Keep it short and sweet. Try exploring the streets of Tokyo, so much energy here. Or sunsets in Santorini are pure magic. Hashtags help too, like #travel_diaries or #wanderlust.
And maybe add a question to get friends talking. Like, what's your favorite place you visited?
Yes, questions invite conversation. Another tip, use emojis, they're universal.
Okay, let's take an audience question. This one's from Amir in Istanbul. He asks, how can I talk about my vacation in English if I don't remember all the details or vocabulary?
Excellent question, Amir. Don't stress about the details. Focus on the main points, where you went, what you liked, and one or two highlights. If you forget a word, describe it. For example, if you can't remember waterfall, you can say, a place where water falls from a high place.
That's so helpful. Also, you can use your hands or show photos if you're face to face. And if you make a mistake, just laugh it off.
100%. Confidence is key. And practice makes perfect. The more you talk about your trips, the easier it gets.
All right, Jake. It's time for a little language fail fun. What's the silliest thing you've ever said when talking about travel in another language?
Oh, here's a good one. In Italy, I wanted to say I'm full after dinner, but I accidentally said I'm pregnant. The waiter just stared at me.
That's priceless. I once tried to say, I love beaches, but mixed up the vowels and, let's just say, I said something completely different. Lesson learned. Be careful with pronunciation.
Absolutely. Listeners, if you've had a funny language mix-up, share it with us. We'd love to hear your stories.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some key takeaway tips for talking about vacations in English.
Tip 1. Use the past tense: went, saw, did, ate. That's your storytelling foundation.
Tip 2. Add feelings and opinions. Say what you liked, loved, or didn't enjoy. It makes your story personal.
Tip 3. Use travel vocabulary, words like explore, adventure, sightseeing, and adjectives like amazing, breathtaking, or peaceful.
Tip 4. Don't worry about mistakes. Just keep talking, and if you forget a word, describe it or show a photo.
Tip 5. Practice. Tell your stories to friends, write them online, or even record yourself. The more you practice, the better you get.
And bonus tip. Have fun with it. Travel stories are meant to be shared. Your adventures might inspire someone else to take a trip.
Exactly. All right, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found these tips useful, don't forget to follow us, share this episode with your travel-loving friends, and subscribe for more English learning fun.
And remember, every trip is a new story. Go out, explore the world, and come back ready to tell us all about it in English.
Thanks for tuning in to the English Chat Spot. Safe travels and happy storytelling.